Hello and welcome. In this video, I will talk about the kinds of dummy data and what you can use in the Bettyblocks page builder to create it. Whenever you create a wireframe for a customer, friend, or yourself, you want it to look as close to the end result as possible without making it too complicated. This means that you want your layout to look good, but the items inside your layout should also resemble what will show in your final product. And this is your content. Since you can't display the data from the final product, you'll have to use dummy data. Dummy data is the placeholder for your page's content and will give you a better idea of how your page will look and show in the end. The way you show your dummy data can be done in three styles: the generated content style, the generic labeled style, and the realistic copy style. So let's talk about the styles and why you would want to use them. Generated content. When filling your pages with generated content, use one single image across all pages and fill your text fields with dummy data generated by the lorem ipsum text generator. This is a standardized text that closely resembles real data. Use this kind of content to easily view how short or long your paragraphs will appear, quickly show a page with filled in content, and when a copywriter might not immediately be available. The generic labeled style is used to point out what direction the page is aiming for, while also keeping it simple. For images, use generic placeholders that resemble the message it should send. And for text fields, write labels about what the expected content would be. For filling up a paragraph of text, copy and paste the label till you've reached the expected length of text. Using this kind of content is good for knowing what it should say and not having the time to write it out. Giving direction to your writers and developers. Avoiding political battles with branding team members or stakeholders, and also a little bit of steering stakeholders away from nitpicking about exact content. The realistic copy style is used to fill your page with content that closely reflects the intent of your final product. Use images and text that send the same message as the content in the final product. Using a realistic copy style is helpful when you want to increase the realism and feel of a polished design, show the proper language and tone to use in the final product, and want to give a more friendly wireframe to your customer. To choose what kind of style you want to use, consider how much time you have and what will be useful to your audience. You can also mix styles, like using real text for your homepage and generated text for your product page. To fill your wireframe layout with content, you need to use some components that can do exactly that. So let's go over some components that can help you in showing what your pages are all about. Content components. The title component is a simple text component that displays pieces of text in a bigger font size. Use this to capture the attention of your audience and to introduce other pieces of content. And the name of the content should say enough, but the text component is used to display fields of text in your page. And sometimes you want to show a success or error sign to your audience. For example, when they use the wrong login data. Use the alert component to create a personalized or generated alert pop-up. Icon components are used to show icons on your page. The icons are based on the Material UI icon list and can be used to add a visual aspect to your content. The divider component can be used to separate components or component groups. Use this to create a clear distance in your layout or dummy data. The snack bar component is a little menu combined with a pop-up. Use this, for example, as a prompt. The progress bar allows you to display progress in your page. Use this to show a user how far they've advanced in a process flow. Use the media component to display an image, video, or iframe in your application's page, because visualization is a feast to the eye. The dialog component is a pop-up component. Use the dialog component when you want to display a confirmation message with the application's user. The dialog will always be hidden while developing, so to work on your dialog, turn on the visibility and turn it off after editing. The chip component is used to make a status or label more visually appealing. Give your ready status a bright green background with a chip component and let users know they are ready to go. The avatar component automatically rounds the content you put into the component. Use this to show circular user images, for example. The last content component is the rating component. Use the rating component at the bottom of your content to allow users to give a rating to your page or the information you've shared with them. The list components are a mix between layout and content. They assist in providing structure in your layout while also allowing you to show content. Use the list component to show a neatly organized drop-down of content of your choice. Change the icons and text to your liking. You can add more items to your list by using the list item component, and separate headings between the list items by using the list subheader component. Card components. A card consists of different components and can be used to display something in a simple yet nice way. Imagine the average product display in your favorite web shop, for example. The card is built up out of separate components, like a card header, used to display a title or name of your card, card media, to display an image, video, or iframe inside a card, card content, to display a text like a description in your card, and card actions, to connect an action to your card. And you might also want to show a data table or input form in your page. But since we prefer not to work with active data functionalities in the wireframe, we can create a dummy data table or dummy input form. To create a dummy data table, drag the data table component on your page and press Save in the data table configuration panel without selecting a model. Then, drag one or more table columns in your data table and fill the top row of your data table column with dummy data using the content components. To create a dummy form, add a form component onto your page and click the Add Without Configuration button on the form configuration panel. Fill the form with fake content from your content components or use the import components to create a more realistic form field. And don't worry, the form won't actually work. And there are also some content settings. Because almost every content component has different settings, I would like to challenge you to figure out what the settings option fits your liking. However, of course, I will also go over the most generic settings you can find in your components. Text fields use the content setting to display the text they should show. Type what you want and it will show in the content component. Use the type option to change the way your content will be displayed. For example, changing the text type from body 1 to title 2 will increase the font size and font weight of the text. Use the alignment settings in your content components to decide how you want your content to align compared to the parent box you've put the content into. Use the icon setting in certain components to change the shape of the icon that is being used. The icon names and shapes are based on the Material UI icon list. Use the size setting next to the icon to increase or decrease the size of the icon. Insert media in components, and to do that, get the URL of image, video, or the iframe you want to display. Put it into the source setting of certain components, allowing this feature. To change the amount of size a component can use, look for the inner space, outer space, height, or width settings to change these to your liking. Some components can also have additional style options. Use these to change the size, color, thickness, or outline of various components. The style options are often based on settings in the theme builder. Change styles in your theme builder to adjust these in your entire application. So these are the components and some of its settings that you can use to create dummy data for your application. View other videos to see how to make your wireframes more interactive or start creating some cool wireframes. Good luck!